about Lobby Days. This is the first time we're actually, in the last couple of years that I've known, that we're kind of getting an early start on this. So we got several individuals that helped put this together: Carlos, Brendan, Gabriel, Shabnam, and anybody else. So we want to welcome all of you. Please enjoy the pizza. There's some waters on that side, and then I'll go ahead and.
Quick introduction.
Yes.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry. I'm Gabriel. I am the Vice President of the swgsa.
I'm Carlos. I'm the President of the Social Work Graduate Student Association. Also part of the Lobby Days Committee, along with Gabriel, Brendan back there, representing the first year MSWs. Gabriel Montez back there as well, finishing his pizza. He's also on Lobby Days Committee, and then we also have a fifth member, Amelia, who hurt her knee this weekend, so she could not be here. Shabnam, holding my phone, going live on Facebook.
So we are live on Facebook, so some of you.
So don't curse. Stop cursing, everybody.
Best behavior here.
And without further ado, Professor Thomas and his wife Cyndy will present the first couple of slides.
All right.
Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you very much. You know, I can't say enough about this group, that Brendan and Gabe and Carlos and what was your name?
Shabnam.
And all of you that engaged. Last year, it was awesome. And they've got that whole experience behind them. And I don't think we've ever started this early, but I think this is going to be the best one we've ever done. And sometimes people say I say that every year, and sometimes I do. But I think this is going to be the best Lobby Days ever, because the political climate really needs social workers. They really need us, and I think that's part of it. It feels good to be needed, and you've got such a awesome elected team with so much heart, so much energy, and some experience here for pulling this off. And for every one of you that has, this looks like a popular bunch. You probably have about 5 or 6 friends each at least. When you kind of expand it and get the enthusiasm out, and I got to hand it to the undergrads, because we've got more undergrads than we've ever had. I mean, it would be spotty like 1 or 2, and they're always younger, and you're kind of, you know, wondering about what the whole thing is. But there's so many now that want to just jump right in and take that risk and want to find out what it's like to be a social worker. And this really gives, Lobby Days gives you the idea of, this is why I went into social work, or this is why I want to be a social worker. So people ask me how, I think I've gone for 20 years, we've gone about, how can you keep going, how can you keep going? It's just like a nice boost. It's like a booster, like a shot in the arm that makes you feel so enthusiastic about the profession. And I think one of our main goals there is to beat out USC.
Oh.
Yeah. On the
It's
down
so
low.
sweet when it happens.
And
They
we
just
have done
hate it.
We have done it. And of course, we're inclusive.
We've done it twice.
Yeah, we've done it twice.
One time we did it by only 1 student. And it was a sweet victory.
Yeah, and it was just because they had baseball caps, scarves, matching shirts, and they were too brave
They were
about
like in
it.
uniforms.
And so they deserved.
All paid for.
And so that was the year. Probably the next year, I came up with this idea. Wait a minute here. That we would have matching shirts. Now everybody has matching shirts. But we were so researched. These are free. So we got the free matching shirts from Pep Squad. And the next year, and for many consecutive years after that, we were like a sea of yellow. And that year that we won, now this year I think you're going to be designing and having your own shirts.
Yeah, really
as
cool.
long as and this was one that we had, Speak Out. It's made out of little speakers. If you can see it closely, it's little speakers. But these are so popular that a whole boatload of them just got stolen. So I don't know who's wearing these or where they are, but yeah, I don't know what happened to these. Hopefully they went to somebody that needed them. And so now they're going to design, and everybody will get, Carlos told me, will get a good deal on the shirt, and so you can all have the same shirt and know who your team is. Like, you know, like a team, you wouldn't want a baseball team and all different kinds of shirts. You got to look like you're a team.
The nice thing about it is that you're, during the conference, there's times where you'll be all sitting together. So you can really see the schools, like just a sea of yellow, or a sea of blue, or a sea of green.
Whatever you
It's
pick.
And it's a way where you can identify and quickly, find each other. So it's a good thing that you're going to be designing.
I'm glad you're
trips to
doing
do
it,
that.
yeah.
But it's really powerful when you see this large color with a lot of people that are just worked up and fired up about Lobby Days. It's really exciting to do it.
And we always have a cheer for those of you that have gone before. I was on Cal Pace for a couple years that raises money for candidates to run for office who are social workers. And so there's a part at every Lobby Days where I pass a basket and get money, and we do a lot of cheers. But for our own school, we are actually a very loud school, and we have a really good turnout, even if we're not the biggest. I think of the state schools, we were the largest school last year. But we always have a cheer like...
Yes.
Were we we had the most number last year?
I think we did of the state
We were big,
school.
but-
Identified like as.
Yeah, we know as the Lobby Days, because Glenn is Region B director, so we always get kind of on the down low how many people are registering and stuff, so we can ramp it up and get more people to come. I've never talked to anybody in all these years that went that wasn't just blown away and so glad they went. And the cheer we did last year was like, SJ, SU, SJ, SU, was loud and proud, San Jose State, go Spartans. And so it's got to, you can make up your own.
Cindy used to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, I was.
In a class of 50 in Japan.
Yeah, at Yokohama American High School, I was a cheerleader. Y, O, K, O, H, it just went on forever by the time you spelled Yokohama American High School. And so once a cheerleader, always a cheerleader, and I'm an alum of the School of Social Work. I got my master's degree here. So my heart is really with the Spartans. But I was going to also add now, because we've got time, if you stock the bookstore and start seeing, like, if things go on sale, like you might want a scarf, you might want something that's just nice to have because you went to school here. But Spartan Pride stuff, and pass it around. So, well, we can get these. This isn't even the right one. The cool ones have all this glitter in it. There's noisemakers and stuff. But we are a force to be reckoned at Lobby Days, and...
Let's use it. Does it record?
Huh?
I think it's picking up your voice. Just make sure.
So,
That's for the camera.
I want to talk about something that's really, really important. Why go to Lobby Days? Why go to Lobby Days? It takes a day out of your life. It's like, well, I'm not so sure I'm really doing mental health, or I'm doing case management, or, what does it really mean? It really makes you as social workers unique. It's really what makes us different from any other discipline, because we are able to intervene individually, family, community, legislatively. We're able to do our assessment. We're able to do our diagnosis. We figure out what needs to be changed. We do our interventions, and then we go back and we evaluate. We're able to do it on multi-level. It's the biopsychosocial perspective. It's what makes us so unique. So if somebody says to you, why do you want to go into social work? Well, why not, I always say, because I did not want my interventions to be limited. I wanted, when I saw the door open, I could enter in, if it's a legislator, a city councilman, a mayor, or the let's say the person who's managing your agency, to be able to walk into that office and effectively lobby for what you think is really important to you. It opens up a whole, and once you do Lobby Days, when you're sitting across from that legislator, you're going to have the confidence to do anything at that macro level. So it is a boost. It makes you think, hey, I can really intervene. You're going to see on one of the slides last year, we were able to push through a bill. This was a bill that was to, if you were on CalWorks and you were a mom and you got pregnant, if you had another child, they went, you can't get any money for that new child. I know you had that new child because you wanted this extra money. Well, we were able to change that as a whole group. So you have some effect. You can read it in the newspaper. Hey, I lobbied. I sat in front of a legislator that voted for this bill that made it possible for those I served to be better. And that's what's important. So I really hope that you go, you get your friends to go, you really go, because it's good for those we serve, it's good for us, it's good for our profession, and we're the largest student lobbying force in the Capitol. So it's huge. So we really are a force. They respect social workers. So when they see a social worker, they know that you've been trained to analyze the policies that they do, and they will ask you, you got an idea for a bill? Because they know that you know those people that you serve, you know your community. They want a legacy. So be sure to go. It's going to be meaningful. And for those who are in my class, you get 2.5 extra points.
That's meaningful right there.
Maybe 2 times. So if you're in my class now, you get 2.5 points. And if you're in my class next semester in March, you get an additional 2.5 points.
We're trying to get a lot of professors interested in wanting to go, because the ones, not to keep referencing the Trojans, but they, all the teachers go and then bring their classes. So it's like their class is there, so of course you're going to have a big turnout. But apart from that, there's a bonding. There's a pride in this profession. We're an old profession, and there's a lot of pride in this profession. And we're the kind of the profession of the new age, because there are so many social problems throughout the globe that social workers are trained to intervene and to help. And so we're in a unique time in history. And we've been at unique times before. I mean, suffragettes, many of them were social workers, the ones that marched in white so women could vote. And I think a lot of us more mature, seasoned social workers, a lot of times we wear white to the polls when we go vote, because we think about that. My grandmother, for instance, couldn't vote. Now, you're all really a young group here, so you're very used to your mom and your grandma voting, I'm sure. But I mean, those of us that are older, that we remember through our living relatives telling about when all of that happened and when people couldn't vote. So anyway, the other part, when you've got a group, when you've got these guys, when you've got student leaders that have really put their heart and soul into this, it's so fun. They have a dinner, they had a barbecue last time, they had yoga going on in this park, and then they had sign making. So you've got, in activities like that, a glimpse of how social workers work, because we always do that. I worked at Valley Med for years and years as a medical social worker, and when there was time when we were unionized there, and when there was a strike threat at one point, I made signs and went to the union and organized our little group in the hospital, to get on board and support the striking issues. And it's kind of, that's sort of like part of it, and it never changes no matter where you are. There's always a place for advocacy. But they have a nice dinner or barbecue. I don't know what they're planning this year, but it's an awful lot of fun. And it's people that you will know, some of them the rest of your life. And as you look for work, you'll have a relationship with some of the people that you went to lobby days with, to advance your career so you can help people even more.
So let's go through the how Lobby Days works. So Lobby Days is really a 2-day event. So you have the Sunday where you get trained how to lobby. So there are 3 bills. I looked at them. They're already picked, which is really unusual. So for the Social Work 204 classes next semester, we're going to be able to use those bills. So the first day is that Sunday. It's the conference. You get a free lunch with the money you paid. You get the training on the 3 bills that are going to be lobbied for. You're also going to have some speakers from the Senate and from the Assembly that will come and talk to you. Some other analysts that will come and talk to you about the state policies that are dear to your heart that you want to learn more about. Also on that day, you get with your team leaders. Now there's about 6 to 8 of the teams, the students that are on each team. You're assigned to a particular legislator. So be sure when you register, and it's going to be in about a week, and when I find out exactly, register right away. Because what happens is,
Today. We start registering today.
It started today, for sure. I looked today. What's on there?
I'll double check it.
Double check. If it is, do it today. Because what happens is those slots for the legislators get filled. So, and you may think to yourself, well, you know, I'm not so sure, or I'm kind of uneasy, or I'm kind of nervous about, you know, sitting in front of a senator and talking about a bill. And you're going to realize you're going to be nervous about it. I was nervous the first time I did it. But it's something that you get a lot of support. Part of your lobbying piece is about 2 minutes. It's a bill, hopefully, that you'll be able to pick and say, that bill speaks to me, or speaks to someone I serve or someone I know. Giving that story to that legislator, that assembly and senator, they're going to remember you with that personal story. And if not, then what you can do is you can help support that person on your team that has that personal story, and you work it out. So you have that 2-minute lobbying piece that you do. You have Sunday evening to go through it in your mind. Everybody does a great job. I had only one person on all the teams I've done that couldn't talk, and the whole group supported that person to move through and be able to actually, you know, be able to lobby and finish it off. And he's coming again this year. So it's such a strong experience. I get goosebumps when I think about it, because it really does make you think, if I sat in front of this senator and I lobbied for this bill, I can advocate anywhere. It really is a thought that's in your mind, and it builds you confidence and courage. The advocacy that we have as far as social workers. So you got Jane Adam Brain on one side, and you got the Mary Richmond on the other side. You got case management, you got mental health services, you got all that direct services, but the Jane Addams side, this is what that is all about, and it'll light up that part of your brain. All those connections will come together, and you go, I'm so glad I became a social worker. And then you're surrounded by all these social work students, everybody. And then we had the picnic last year. There were 200 or 300 students from different schools that came together. We actually line danced. Uh-oh.
We shut down the park.
I mean, it's not only inspiring, it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And so you get done with that Sunday. So what you do is you wake up on Monday morning. You've let all your internship know how important this is to you. You move maybe some of those hours of the internship or whatever you're doing over to another time. You go talk to your prof and say, I really want to go to lobby days. How, you know, help me get there. On Monday, you have that appointment with your legislator, and you get in. What happens is everybody waits out in the hall outside the office. You have your team leader that tells, okay, it's time to go in. Team leader goes in and says, we're a group from NASW. We're here to talk to so-and-so. We have a meeting with her or him at this time. You sit, you wait, then you're taken usually into a larger area, like a little conference room, sometimes into the senator or legislator's office. And then sometimes you get an aide, that's okay. Republicans are great to meet with. I particularly enjoy meeting with Republicans because I like to have a respectful conversation going, like what do they think about this, what do they think about that. Main thing, don't be scared. You know, just go for an appointment. Get an appointment with a legislator and have that full experience. You can make it happen. The main key things are early registration, because the slots get filled up. And CSU is probably, it's like waiting for Southwest Airlines to try to get in row A. They're going to be on the line right away trying to get the first slots. We can get there. You know, just do it as fast as you can. I know there's a lot of support as far as money and finances. You do get the dinner you do get the lunch on Sunday. You get a dinner on Sunday. NASW helps pay for some of that. You get a lot of things paid for, and you walk away with this experience you'll never forget.
If you find it's, you really want to go, I think everybody in here is here because they really want to go, and it's a hardship for you, or something's come up and you thought you'd be able to afford it, but it's going to be tough, just talk to Professor Thomas, talk to Carlos, talk to Gabe, they can talk, and we can see what we can work it out. Anyone that really wants to go, money, it does not have to stop you. I mean, there is a way that we can figure it out, that you can go if you want to attend. I was going to say the other thing, as long as you're stocking the for spirit kind of items and stuff to wear there, the dress code there is, dress up, stand up, and speak out kind of thing. And so you can't wear jeans, you can't wear your school clothes. And it's got to be like a sport coat or kind of like what Gabe's got on, something like that.
Our JC Penny,
yeah,
JC Penny model back here.
The model. If you don't have a suit, that's okay. You're going to eventually have to have something like that to interview. If you don't have a suit, that's okay. But like a sport coat and some khaki pants or something like that, and a dress shirt. A tie is nice on a guy. To look, because it's formal up there, and they look at it as respect in the way that you're dressed. And for girls, I mean, you can get black pants, black skirt anywhere. Even if you have no budget at all, you could go to Goodwill and find a black skirt and a white shirt. That would be the bare minimum. If you can do a suit with a jacket or a blazer, great. And just walking shoes, black shoes, and nothing loud, nothing low cut or anything like that. Kind of like what you'd wear to your internship. Well, it depends where your internship is, but no jeans. And in all the times I've done it, only once did I have one woman that just, I don't know, she just didn't get the message or what, and she came in very casual jeans, and then the protocol was, I felt bad about it, but she couldn't go in with the legislator because of her dress. It seems ridiculous, but that's the way it is up there. It's kind of formal. And you'll need an interview outfit anyway, so be looking at the after Christmas sales and stuff and get something cute. I think that's about it for me, unless you have questions.
We'll do questions at the end.
Okay.
To expand a little bit on the assistance with paying for registration, some of you have the brochure.
Is the registration now?
I know it was on the website itself. I think
It says begins in
I
November.
looked at it today and I looked around and
It says begins November, so the information I had before we did this presentation was November 1st through December 13th was the early bird special. Some of you have the brochure. It's a bit of a discount. For those who are undergrad, how many undergrad here?
oh, nice.
Awesome. So,
Wow, that's the first.
and you guys are familiar with the USWA, the Undergraduate Social Work Association. So right now they're working on securing funds for the undergrad class to help those who can't afford the registration costs.
You know, we can CSU.
Yeah, we can. We will. Yeah, CSU, USCs. So. I knew what you meant. So the USWA, like I said, they're, I believe in another week or two, they'll find out if they can secure some funding. It's kind of complicated. There's different sources of funding on campus. Last year we did something similar. SWGSA secured funding to pay for, I believe it was 27 or 28 individuals, just cover their registration costs. And if you see the costs on there, they can range from 60 something to about $89, depending on a few things. Some of the things that they depend on are if you're a member of the NASW. Is anybody a member of the NASW here already? So you guys do get a discount. I'm not sure how much it is. I want to say like a $15 discount. Anybody Title 4E, MSW first year? You guys get reimbursed for the registration costs. Ask Panina. She'll let you know what's up. And then SWGSA, we're also working on securing funding as well for the graduate level students. Like I said, it's just to help those who really can't afford it. We're trying to keep costs as low as possible. There's also, if you wanted to be a team leader there, maybe Professor Thomas can kind of expand on the role of a team leader, but when you register, they give you an option of being a team leader. So basically you go in, when you meet the legislators, you're kind of part of the organizing beforehand. I don't know if there's something you can...
So what you are is so Sunday night, so the main conference on Sunday with all the training of how to, the different bills, some of the keynote speakers, so forth. When it ends that evening, there's a dinner that's free. Team leaders meet and get trained to do the team leadership. So as a team leader, what you do is you table on Sunday. You sit around the table. You lead the table. You work out who's going to do which piece. You help everybody rehearse their particular part. You keep track of everybody. You get everybody's phone number, so in case somebody's late, you can always call and say, are you still on your way? We'll wait an extra minute. And once everything's set, you then open the door to the legislator's office, you introduce your team, you kind of are the host, you know, as far as your group coming in to meet that particular legislator. I can't tell you how happy I'm over the undergraduate.
You know,
That's
can
just
I
awesome.
add
You know, we've got
something
a
with
real chance this year.
How about
Yeah.
Cyndy? They're going down.
I'm like excited now.
Going down. This is it.
you-
We have bragged
We have
too
a
much, but
chance.
So do,
Oh,
do you know
so sweet.
do you know the amount of the discount, or is it free for the team leader for
Okay, so
registration?
the team leader has like a $10 discount, I think, or $15 discount. If you get your NESW membership, and I think it's like
I would
57
do that.
or
As a
something
student,
like that.
Save money.
Do it before you graduate, because then after you graduate, then what you do is you save $250 over the next 3 years by having that before you graduate. I know that's
Can I add something
Yeah,
about
yeah,
team leader?
please.
Yeah, the first time I did team leader, I didn't have a clue about it, but I'd been in leadership positions, and I was mature by that time because I got my master's when I was in my 40s. My first degree was when I was in my 20s, and so then I went back to school for my master's. And so, so I've been in leadership positions and, you know, taught school and stuff, and I thought, you know, I would give it a chance. And just the intimidating part about it was that you're going in to see these legislators that you read about in the paper, that you see, you know, that are pretty well known if you follow politics. But actually, I think anyone in the program could do it because you're trained on that Sunday, like Glenn said, how to do it. And everybody will help you. And if you've ever led any kind of group, you could do it. I mean, they tell you what the bills are. Everybody gets the bills at the same time. And you look at the bills, and then the people that are in your group go through their roles. I mean, it isn't, it's a leadership opportunity. If you've never had a lot of opportunities to be in a leadership role, I would say take a risk and jump into it because you really can't do anything wrong. You're so well trained by the time you walk through that door. Anybody in here could do it. Any social worker could do it. And if you are looking at saving some money, I'd say do it.
You can also volunteer. So being a volunteer means that you help with the paperwork, you help with the sign-ins, you don't miss any of the conference. So you're there during all the pieces of the conference, all the speakers, all the trainings, everything. You just help as far as the NESW staff to, pull the conference together. So you get the same amount of discount. I think it's like $10 or $15 to do that. So you can do that.
And if you guys are can you borrow that?
Oh, you want that?
Yeah, we're doing everything. And if you guys are interested in already registering, go ahead and go to swgsa.org. They should have some instructions either today, tomorrow, sometime in the next week.
Here's what I was told. Rebecca Gonzalez, who runs the whole thing, said that just after the election they were going to open it up.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is.
So
Awesome.
I'm not sure.
So keep checking back to the website. For those who don't think they can afford some of the costs, hang tight. We'll get information out to you probably by the end of this month, and we'll let you know how many we can actually cover or a certain amount. Brendan, can you help me out with the next slide? So some lodging and transportation. So what we're looking into doing is what we kind of do every year. We reserve a block of rooms at a hotel in the same location. So last year we did it. It was at the convention center in Sacramento. We stayed at the Vagabond. We reserved 20 rooms that's at a group rate. What we like to do is create a sort of a sign-in sheet, and Gabriel Montes will be in charge of that, where students can split the room. So typically students go 2 or 4. A lot of them go 4 per room, so that way it can be around $25 a night. So I encourage all of you to do that, to keep your costs as low as possible. People share rides typically as well, so we'll kind of carpool. And like I said, Gabriel can kind of shed some light on some of the sheets he's going to be sharing with you guys.
So, just really quickly, I'm going to be creating the sheets this week, so they should be ready by this weekend. You guys will get a mass email that by this weekend that you guys can sign up, and then I'll keep track of everything. And I'll be sending a lot of reminders throughout the year to sign up, and let me know as soon as you sign up, so that way I could put you guys on the spreadsheet and we can keep a master record of who's going and who's staying with who.
And if you want to go, sign up, whether you feel like you can afford it or not, because we will find a way to make it happen for anyone that wants to go.
And what we'll do is we'll also, I'm sure you'll, as soon as the registration opens, you'll send out a blast
Yeah.
to everybody
Definitely.
to let them know about it.
So hopefully you guys are still on Facebook. We use Facebook a lot, USWA and SWGSA, but we'll also use email, probably Peter Lee or Kathy. I know you guys get a lot of emails, so we'll try to make sure it says lobby days in the heading. Registration. Yeah, and then if anybody wants to get their own room, that's fine. For the rooms that we are reserving, we ask that those are just to be shared. But you can definitely get a room at the same hotel or across the street. Some people have friends and family in the area. They stay with them. That's all great too. We'll do some other things to kind of get connected when we get there. I think that's all I have to say on that.
So one thing that's great, this, my voice is for you. Okay.
No, but this is for the video.
Okay, one thing that's nice is last year for the first time on the state board, what we decided to do was to move, because we always had 400 students. We had 400 students who were waiting, just like a line of 400 students going, please, I want to get in, I want to get in. So we decided to move it from the red line in, where our max was about 1050, and we opened it up to the convention center, which all of a sudden, boom, we were up to 1,400, maybe 1,500.
Which is beautiful.
This last
Right
year.
downtown.
So it's, there's nobody is left behind. Anybody who wants to be a part of this can be part of this. For those undergraduates, I'm sitting here going, wow, we got a lot of undergraduates coming. One thing it's going to do, when you apply for, how many are going to apply for your MSW? Come on, everybody, please, please.
Right.
Okay, and when you get your MSW, how many of you plan to get licensed?
Everybody.
Nice. So one thing you can do when you're writing your personal letter is, and a number of us help with the, in the past we have, I think it's the policy is just this last year changed as far as those letters. So I used to read quite a few letters as far as the applicants for MSW program. It speaks to that part of social work that's so important, that advocacy part. So when you go through lobby days, you'll be able to write that piece in there. You say, you know, I was in that hall. I heard those speakers. I heard the roar of 1,400 other social work students. It moved me. It made me think this is what I really want to do and I want to continue to do. And it helped train me to be able to do that. So, I mean, just on that level too, it helps, you know, it helps in all kinds of different ways. So please, you know.
It makes you feel like this is where I belong. And
Now it's my turn.
if you don't get that feeling, that's okay. Maybe you belong in something different, and that's fine too, because you serve best with where your passion is and what you love to do. That's where you're going to be the most useful in the context of making a difference on this planet. And if you've got that heart of a social worker, you will feel like all of us have, this is where I belong. Proud.
Yeah.
It's emotional for us, you can tell. And my goodness, I mean, we've gone for about 20 years, I think, or somewhere in there, you know, and to keep going back to see the students and have that feeling and feel proud of what you do, there's no, it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. I'm memorizing your faces now, imagining the cool shirt and stuff.
So there is a lot of...
You want this, Carla? Sure. And these guys are experienced. I mean, you've really got some leaders.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
You know, for the, sorry.
That's okay.
For the group rates for the hotel.
Right.
Is this just Saturday? I mean Sunday.
I'm gonna talk a little bit about that right now.
get it all weekend. But.
And then Gabriel's going to work on some of that. I'm going to talk about how kind of the process goes. Just to reiterate, I came here as an undergrad, and now I'm in the master's program, second year. We're about to graduate, and this is by far the best experience that I think a lot of us that have gone through this to the lobby days experience. This is by far one of the things that's going to bring most of you together. Some of you are going to continue on to the master's program. Some of you are going to be seniors that are juniors, etc. And this is one of those things where it'll really make you a cohesive group where maybe some of you don't know each other because you've spent the weekend together. What some of us do and what we did last year is we met up on a Saturday. The event's on a Sunday. Most people come up on a Sunday, but there are various other schools, Berkeley, UC Davis, USC, San Diego, East Bay. You have schools from up and down California that show up, and a lot of them they try to take advantage of it, and they come into Sacramento to spend a day on Saturday. What Carlos, myself, and the rest of the group are going to try to do is we're going to make an attempt to get all those individuals that are connecting with us, letting us they're going to be there. We're going to be sending out emails, and we're going to have dinner at some place that night. Last year we chose a pizza parlor arcade game. Those individuals that came out, we had an awesome time. Some other folks went out after, and then the next day we're ready for the day's event. On Sunday, like Glenn Professor Thomas talked about, we did the whole thing at the convention center. What some of us did is that we made, because there's a lot of schools that only send a few delegates or a few individuals that show up to the event. What we did is we wanted to be inclusive, so we went to each school, introduced ourselves, let them know we're from San Jose State, and we were one of the largest schools that were there in terms of numbers. And we were loud, and people knew we were there, and that's kind of what we really wanted to do. We want to let people know that San Jose State was there. And what we did is we invited everybody to the barbecue. Professor Thomas was able to reach out to the NASW, who was able to provide us with some funding so we could do a barbecue. Hopefully this year it happens again. I don't know. Is that going to be? Yes, I think so. And so what we want to do is we want to do that because we're still close to a lot of the folks at Cal State East Bay, CSU East Bay, and Berkeley, and we still do things. Even now that we're in school, we still do a lot of events together where we'll meet up. We have something coming up for Thanksgiving, which we'll talk to you guys about later on as well. But on Sunday, we'll do the barbecue.
We do the sign making.
We get together. We do a bunch of stuff, and all you folks are invited to that. This is going to be an awesome experience for you folks. And then on Monday, we meet at the Capitol. Some of you go into your different into the different areas that you are going to be designated to go to. Which politicians you're going to be talking to, whether it's the Assembly, the Senate, whether it's going to be on a specific bill. This is going to be an awesome experience for some of you guys. So.
Yeah, the other thing I would add on to that with these guys, they've had in the past, USC did this. They had a mixer, and they invited all the other schools to this mixer, and it was right in the hotel. It was a big hit. It was a lot of fun. And last year, this is what you're trying to do. Yeah, because we're one of the bigger schools of the CSU system, and we were the first ones to have t-shirts or sell t-shirts or anything. And I've had Cal East Bay and some of these smaller schools, they all have t-shirts now, and they have slogans on them. They're just inspiring. But come up to me and say, you guys in your school inspired us to get more fired up and get our shirts and come to lobby days. So I think also that Spartan pride that we show, whenever you go out and look for a job, there's something to be said that you got your degree here. It does kind of set you apart with that Spartan pride, and we've got it now. So all we have to do is keep expanding it and using it to help the others, the smaller schools there. Because if everybody in the whole school went, they would not have a lot of students. So, okay.
So like I said, we're going to go ahead and do that barbecue thing again. Last year we had East Bay, Stanislaus, Sacramento State, Fresno State. I'm from Fresno, what's up?
We had some Bulldogs there.
Yeah, so East Bay wants to do that again. This year they want to have it even bigger. It was a lot more fun. We do have a few photos from lobby days. So that's this is all at San Jose State last year.
That's the convention center.
Yeah, so it was at the convention center in Sacramento. A few classmates. A couple of handsome devils right here.
See the bow tie and stuff?
Yeah, bow tie. We all matched shirts last year, so this year we're hopefully we'll get together and do a different shirt. I think we have another one more slide with other photos as well. It's kind of at the Capitol steps. That's at the rally part. Some folks right here, they just got done meeting with the legislator. They go in groups that size, so don't be afraid. Don't think you're going by yourself. That's kind of what your group will look like. You'll go in there and you all talk about the 3 bills that they usually push through with the NASW. That's Brendan right there. Look at him. Looking all GQ. It does kind of get bigger than that. I think that was maybe later. I think the rally's about an hour or so. Monday at about 11.
Rally.
Yeah, so that's the rally. So that's kind of, each school kind of gets their chance to go up there and talk. Brendan spoke last year. Professor Thomas speaks every year as well.
And each school goes up there.
Yeah.
Some do a rap, some do.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
weird and very
Maybe we could put together a skit, maybe this year we could do
Something.
something.
Great.
Other
Schools do different things, and I think it'd be
Interpretive
pretty awesome
dance.
if we can go out there and do something.
Yeah. So I think there's one more slide. That was photos from the barbecue we had. That was earlier when we first started getting everything going. We got some folks right here doing yoga. I don't do yoga, but I don't stretch like that. Yeah, and that's a lot of, like I said, we had a few folks from different schools as well. You see all the blue, that's San Jose State, but there was a lot of other folks. We even kind of got crunk. We had some music going. We had Professor Thomas dancing. Oh, the video. Where's the video? Wait,
A lot of fun.
here's the video.
Oh, no, you don't, not really, do you?
What? Nah, not me. I wouldn't do that to you. Brenda, can you press play? Wait, right there. Look at him. Look at him. That's actually one of 3, guys. He was going on and on. I got the shortest video possible. So that's kind of how we ended that Sunday barbecue. It ended up being a lot of fun. A lot of the connections we made, we still keep this year at our internship. We're still friends with 4 people from East Bay. They're interning with us, and they want to do this even bigger. And we're talking about plans after we graduate. Just a lot of great ideas come from that collaborative event.
And what we're trying to do, we're making the attempt, is that we're walking and we're going to be going into each one of your classrooms, talking to your professors to see if we can get you folks extra credit. I think it's very important that we as a School of Social Work, back this up. It's one of those experiences where if you don't do it, you hear about it, and the next years to come, I have people that say like, oh my God, I wish I would have went, I wish I would have gone, and tell me when we do it next year. So I am encouraging you folks to really think about budgeting, getting together with us. If you cannot afford it, do not let that be a reason why you're not going to this event. Let us help you get to Sacramento in March. So.
Yeah, so it's a great event. I do hope you all go. You see there's a lot of seriousness to it with the legislative, the lobbying part, the advocacy, but there's also a lot of fun. We love socializing. It's the first kind of event for myself when I went as a junior where I got to meet with other MSWs. I didn't know any MSWs. Maybe some of you guys may feel a disconnect from your class. Me and Gabriel, we did a junior, senior year, got straight into the MSW program. So this event kind of helped us bridge that gap between the classes, the undergrads and graduate program. So we really hope you guys go. That's kind of it for us in this presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions? Ask.
With registration, with lobby.
Yellow shirt, friend, then you got it.
Are there any more brochures?
Are there any more brochures? I'm not sure. If not, you can go to the NASWCA.org website. They do have a PDF.
Is this PowerPoint on there too?
We're going to send this PowerPoint out as well. So we're recording it. Hopefully we'll send it out. We'll make some edits. That way I don't look so glossy. And then...
The actual registration isn't happening until after election.
We thought it was up today. Professor Thomas is telling us that it could be after the 8th. That's the whole reason we wanted to get this going early, is because I know last year there were so many people that wanted to go, and it got a little pricey, but we were still able to help. So that's why we're making the attempt to catch it at the beginning before all the holiday spending happens.
It's not on the website yet. We
Okay.
looked already.
Okay.
Okay.
So just give it a couple days and I'm sure they'll update.
Okay, so check back to the NASWCA.org.
Yes, it is.
Hey, is that Vagabond Hotel walking distance?
It is. It's about 15 minutes, but there is a shuttle that takes you there as well in the morning. So on Sunday, when you go to the all-day conference, the shuttle will take you and it'll actually take you back. We could do Uber. That's what we did.
And then
$5.
we're also literally like from here to the other building from Old Town Sacramento, which is very convenient
Yeah.
for us.
And downtown too. Downtown's the other way.
Young lady.
So with our like classes, you think it won't be an issue because that's on a Monday?
Typically, no, especially if you have Thomas on a Monday.
Not everybody's gonna have Thomas, and for the majority of the folks that have gone last year, a lot of professors know. So a lot of times, what they do is they'll cancel that class because there's such a large number. Go ahead.
So what I'm going to do next faculty meeting, we did this last year or the year before, where it was talked about during the faculty meeting, and then it was a blanket okay. You know, you were not going to be penalized as far as your attendance for your class, so I'll do that. The next faculty meeting will be in 3 weeks, so I'm sure it'll be a go.
Typically not an issue. They
Yeah.
do sometimes ask you to write something, but pretty easy, reflective paper.
Peter Lee is a lobby day participant and has been.
Very active
for
member of
many,
NASW.
Many years, very active member of NASW. He was our social worker of the year a couple years back, and I think he's going to be very supportive.
So that's a big boost, you know, as far as having somebody who really supports us.
Back there, Carlos.
But what time does this event end on Monday?
So Monday, there's just a rally. I believe it starts usually at 11 a.m. It's about an hour of a rally, hour and a half. Your legislative appointments occur on Monday. So when you register, you'll select if you want to have a legislative appointment.
Please do.
Yeah, and from there you'll get information, I believe, closer to the event of what time your appointment will be for that day.
Morning or afternoon.
So
You could-
if I choose an appointment, I'm going to have a team, is what you're saying?
You'll be a part of a team.
So let's say that.
600-700 people.
It kind of depends on your district and who you're meeting with.
So let's say that by the time you get and you want to register and you want to get your legislator, maybe that's filled. Maybe the one that's in your local district is filled. Go for that other legislator in another area. Just please go, because what's going to happen is this is what happens every year. You know, a number of students do not, you know, get an appointment. After you have the all-day conference and all the trainings that go on, you go, I want to go. So what I've done is add a couple students to my group every year. But get ahead of that. You know, get in your own driver's seat. Don't be following somebody else. Make it happen for you. Get an appointment, even if it's not in this county. Go outside the county. Get somebody that you know. Just be sure to get an appointment. It's important. Then you've got the whole thing. You've done it all, and then you've got the courage and the power to keep going. So really do it.
Any other questions?
So if you
Okay.
the appointment is what culminates the event then, right? Once you've done that, or do you guys
Yeah.
meet afterwards?
On Monday, yeah,
At
just
the rally.
at the rally.
The rally, the
The
school
rally,
comes
and then
together,
you
we
can
all meet
stay
up.
as long as you want for the rally, but then the speakers come out, like the real pro-social legislators. Jim Bell will come out.
Yeah.
Mariko Yamada will come out.
Eggman always comes out.
Eggman, Susan Eggman is really.
She's a
I mean,
social
these are
worker.
Politicians, they put on a show. And they come out and they speak to social work issues, and then the people that are rallying, which is us, with our signs and stuff, the other legislators up in their offices, this is right at the Capitol, they hear us.
Yeah. You
And we're
can-
the largest, we're the
Largest lobbying
advocacy
force.
group that ever
Yeah.
comes up there.
They literally hear us. They're in their, let's say that the assembly or the Senate's meeting, they can hear us outside. We're that powerful. So it really, you know, it really says something to them as far as what's important.
And then you have like a little social work button or something.
Oh, yeah, you get the tag.
So as you're going
Got it.
around, oh, social work in the house, they know that you're there. They're more aware of social work issues. And then there's a little tour, if you've never been in the state capitol, that there's a little tour you can take to see the history of it.
You can set up, you sit in the round up above in the balcony. That's a circular balcony where you can look down. A lot of times the Senate and the Assembly's in session, so you can watch the Senate and the Assembly. One time we were there. One of our bills that we were pushing through, actually we saw it get approved on the Assembly floor, so it's exciting to be there.
You can see the statue of Reagan. You can see I mean, the California Golden Bear, like right in front of the governor's office.
The big bear.
We've been in there too, but in this, there's this big bronze golden bear.
Full
looking
size.
thing that everybody gets their picture taken, and there's guards, and it's the governor's office. I mean, it really makes it much more real to what you really are about and what your job, the importance of it is, and how you really represent with your voice people who don't have a voice.
And then we have one more question over here.
So right when we register and everything, it'll tell us what legislator we have?
You get to pick.
Oh, okay.
You get to pick.
So we're just mixed up, we're not with our school?
Not necessarily. So yeah, when you register, you get to pick which district
Let's say Jim Bell.
you want to
He's in this area.
lobby for.
Represents this area.
You are not necessarily placed with your school.
Don't you
Be sure to
just
get it.
sign up and they just give you a
No, you have to actually, you pick
one. Yeah, when-
You have to actually say, I want an appointment.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you get.
Yeah.
It'll ask you do it.
From all these different schools, not just San Jose State.
And we'll be mixed up with
Yes.
schools?
Other schools,
That's what's called.
other students from other schools.
And that's cool too.
About six
So-
of you, 6 to 8, something like that.
Because it's nice to meet other students, because you'll be in those groups, you have to rehearse, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, for the second time, just to be respectful in terms of how much time we wanted to be here, we do really appreciate all you folks coming out. We appreciate you folks coming and joining us with the pizza. If anybody wants to stick around and chat a little bit more with any of us who are part of the lobby committee, you're free to do that. Not, thank you, and we'll get some information out to you folks. Thank you.
for showing up.
Okay.